Hello everyone and welcome to the short video tutorial series of Planet Pro. I'm Mike Shaw. In this video, let's talk about plans and tasks. So here are some important things to remember about plans and tasks. Number 1, plans are always auto-saved. Number 2, tasks are always manually saved. And number 3, every save action will save as a new task. So let me show you how all this works with a few examples. Now when you first start using Planet, you probably only use it to look up particular times. In this case, you want to make sure that this date here is correct. And then you look at the top ephemeris pages to check the time you're interested in, say sunrise or sunset times. Or if you want to view the Milky Way information, you can switch over to the Milky Way Center page and look at the times when the Milky Way will appear or disappear as an example. And then, after you find the information you're interested in, you probably just close the app and you're done. So it would seem like there's no need to save anything. And then when you reopen it, you'll see that the app is in exactly the same state as when you closed it. So what this means is that even if you didn't explicitly tell the app to save anything, the app will save the last used information for you automatically. And this feature will give you a lot of peace of mind. You're free to close the app at any time without worrying about losing data or your latest state of planning. But sooner or later, you're going to find the need to choose when to save your plan or some other information. For example, we had a great plan in the previous video tutorial where we can shoot the Milky Way Center rising behind the Portland headlight and with a moon right here. Note that the date is February 16, 2023, which is a few months from now. And the thing is that if we don't save this somehow, we might forget about this event and miss it. So here's when you start to look for some type of save function in Planet. Maybe you tap the menu, scroll down, and you find that next to the plans, there's a new plan button, but not a save button. But on the next line where it says tasks of the plan, there is a save button. Is it the save button I should click to save a plan? Well, I'm not sure. Let's look for some more save buttons. I'll tap the plus button. Look, there's also a save button. Is this the correct one? Well, the answer is actually yes for both the save button under the menu and the save button under the plus button. The two are exactly the same. Tap it. It says a new task is saved. Well, that sounds strange when we use it, especially for the first time. I just wanted to save the plan, and now you tell me that a new task is saved. So what exactly is a task? Well, you can think of a task as a plan that you want to go out on that date and time and shoot. Now, I have to say that we're not fond of the term task either. It's almost like we really want to rename the terms plan and task to project and plan, respectively. If you all have any other suggestions or ideas, please do let us know. But anyway, if you tap the menu, you'll notice it now has one task, so it does look like the task was saved. And when you click on the tasks of the plan, you can see the task, but it has a really weird name, Plan 1. Well, that's because when you open the app for the first time, we automatically create an unnamed plan called Plan 1. It's kind of like an untitled document in Microsoft Office Word. Now, if we're working on a plan for the Portland headlight, we should probably rename it. So how do we do that? Well, the pencil icon next to the plan name indicates you can edit the plan name by tapping it. So let's tap it, clear out the existing name, and it gives you suggestions for some keywords to use when you name the plan. Tap Portland Headlight, tap Milky Way, and tap Rename. Now the plan is renamed to Portland Headlight Milky Way. Go back to the menu, tap the plans. You can see that we have one plan, Portland Headlight. It has one task. By default, the task has the same name as the plan. To rename the task, you can press and hold on Android or swipe left on iOS. Here I'll tap Moonrise and tap Rename. Now I can see this task has Moonrise at the end. When we work on a plan, we often want to check on different dates as the weather on the first date may not work out. So let's go back and see if we can find another date that also works. Tap the results, and we'll select May 9th, 2023. The moon is here. This date also works. To save it, tap the Save button. If you want to rename it, you can do it now by tapping this Rename button. Again, tap Moonrise and Rename, and now we have two tasks under the same plan. So, a good way to think about all this is that in this example, we have the same goal of the Portland Head Lighthouse, which we're calling the plan. And this plan has two different dates, which we're calling the tasks. So we call the overall objective the plan, and we can have multiple tasks, for example dates, for achieving our plan. So now it becomes crucial to save a specific state as a task when you want to keep it. For example, suppose I notice that there's another good viewpoint to the south of the lighthouse. So I'll set it as the camera location and use the VR viewfinder to see if I can also shoot the Milky Way from over there. But look, when I adjust the time slider for a whole day, the Milky Way center never appears behind the lighthouse. So this is an unsuccessful attempt. But Planet doesn't know that I failed to come up with a successful plan at this new location, so it will still autosave this state for me when I close the app. And the next time I open up Planet, the failed plan will load. And if I want to go back to the previous task that worked at the other location, tap the task list and load that task back in, and done. But if you forgot to save the previous state as a task earlier, unfortunately, that previous state is now gone. So there's a lot of good feedback that we received about this autosave feature, and now there's a way to get the previous state back. But before I show that to you, I want to show you a trick for when you forget to save, and we'll start with a typical workflow. Sometimes when we're in the middle of a plan, we'll start to work on another plan which is totally unrelated. For example, suppose I'm in the middle of our Portland Headlight plan, but suddenly I decide to start working on a moonrise plan for the Statue of Liberty. I'll fast forward to the planning process. Here is the plan, and just when I was about to click the save button, I realized something was wrong. We'll go back, and as you can see on the title bar, I'm still on the Portland Headlight plan. I should have created a new plan by tapping this Create New Plan button here before working on the Statue of Liberty plan, but I forgot. But don't worry, we've got you covered. Tap the title bar to bring up the Rename dialog. Change it to Statue of Liberty, then type Moonrise. That's the name of your new plan. But you shouldn't click the Rename button because the Rename button will rename the whole Portland Headlight as well as its two tasks to this new name, and that is not what we want. Instead, the correct way to save it is to tap this Save As button. Tap it, then you tap here and click the Save button to save the task. Now, if you go back to the menu, you'll see two plans over here. Tap it, you can see we have both the Portland Headlight Milky Way plan and the Statue of Liberty Moonrise plan. The two tasks are still there under the Portland Headlight Milky Way plan, untouched. There's also the one task we just created under the Statue of Liberty Moonrise plan. Perfect. I can load the Statue of Liberty plan and continue to create more tasks. Again, I'll fast forward. Here's another task that works. Tap here and save it again. And now we have two tasks for the Statue of Liberty Moonrise. Now when you have a lot of tasks, you may want to add a reminder by tapping this button and then the Add a Reminder button. I usually tap the Remind section to add more reminders. Maybe remind myself 2 hours beforehand so I have time to drive to the location, and then maybe another reminder 30 minutes beforehand so I can start to set up my camera equipment in time. Or even a day before so I can remember that the next day I have an important photo shooting plan. Then click Done. So let's say we continue working on this plan. And again, I'm going to fast forward. And you found a date and time that works. But suddenly something urgent comes up and you just close the app and forget to save it as a task. It happens all the time. And the next day when we open up the app, this old state was kept. However, suppose you forgot that you didn't save the plan as a task and you drag the camera pin to a new location or do something similar. And then you suddenly realize that you didn't save the plan that worked at this location. Is there a way to get it back? The answer is yes. We actually kept the state where you open the app for you internally. To load it back in, just tap the title bar, type in a temporary name, then click Save As. Now a temporary plan is created which will remember this new camera location that you just set over here. However, if you load the Statue of Liberty Moonrise plan back in, you'll see that the plan that works at this camera location is loaded back correctly. Now you just click the Save button to save it as a task. Another trick is to use the Save As function. To delete a plan, go to the plan list. Let's say we don't need the temporary plan. We'll press and hold on the temp plan, then tap the Delete button to delete it. On iOS, you just swipe left to delete it. You can also share a task or a plan. Let's say you want to share a Statue of Liberty Moonrise task with a friend. Tap the arrow button to go to the task list. Press and hold on the task on April the 6th. Tap the three dots button on top. Here is the share feature. On iOS, swipe left to see the share button. From here, you can share it as a plan file using any available sharing app, such as a Messenger, WeChat, email, Google Drive, and so forth. While we're on the Statue of Liberty Moonrise plan, we might start working on a plan for sunrise. I'm fast forwarding. I found that I can shoot the Statue of Liberty sunrise on March 21st, 2023. So I tap the Save It as a Task. Now I realize that I'm on a moonrise plan. If I go to the task list, here there are 4 tasks. The first task is actually a sunrise task. So I press and hold, then rename it to sunrise. Now it's renamed. But that's not enough. Clearly the sunrise task doesn't belong to this plan. I should create a new plan for it. To do so, press and hold, tap here, then select Move Out. This action will move this sunrise task out as a separate plan. Done. If we go to the plan list, we will see the sunrise plan. While we're on this page, I also want to show you that on the top of the plan list or the task list, you can filter by name or filter by task date. If you want to find out all the tasks within the next 3 days, or a week or a month, you can tap on the filter button to do just that. Here, you can also filter by the location of the task. And finally, we also introduced a new concept called task markers. Back on the map, you can see the date and time of the tasks over here. So from the screen, you can easily tell the tasks for the Statue of Liberty and where and when. You can tap it to select it, to rename it, to open it, to overwrite with a new task, or to delete it. It's the same as the action in the task list page, but much more convenient. If for whatever reason you don't want to see the task markers on the map, you can just go to Settings, Map, scroll down to the end, then uncheck the task markers to hide them. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and enjoy learning and using Planet.